Australia's housing prices are falling and is likely to suffer double-digit declines. What does this mean for the U.S. housing market? Housing market crash could see values of homes plummet in these 11 states. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to cover breaking news from The Guardian, Bloomberg, and much more. There's so much information to unpack here. Thank you so much for tuning in. One caveat, I'm a Florida, Georgia real estate broker, not a financial advisor. If you like weekly real estate content like this, please subscribe. All right, let's begin. Double-digit drops in capital city property prices likely after RBA rate hikes. Property prices in most Australian cities are expected to fall by double-digit figures after the Reserve Bank of Australia hit the interest rate brakes harder and faster than earlier forecast, crimping the size of loans households can borrow, economists say. And it goes on to say, as borrowing costs have risen, GDP growth has slowed faster than predicted, dragging household consumption lower and accelerating the downturn in average property prices. Based on our updated forecast for the cash rate, we expect home price falls nationally of around 15% over the next 18 months, Ard said, adding prices in Sydney and Melbourne are likely to slide by more than other capital cities. Sydney property prices seen falling 20% in Hairbinger for Nation. ANZ predicts 20% fall in 2022 to 23. BI sees 12 to 15% drop in 2022. National prices may decline by 30% through 2025, Kulaba says. Sydney property prices are expected to fall by up to 20% as rising interest rates amplify affordability challenges in one of the world's most expensive markets. Such a result would likely augur nationwide declines. Australia and New Zealand Banking Group Limited economists predict housing in the nation's largest city will drop by 1/5 this year and next. Bloomberg Intelligence, off a tighter timeframe, sees Sydney falling 12 to 15% in 2022, based on the cash rate climbing to 1.75% by December from the current 0.85%. Australian house prices fall for a second month as interest rates rise. CoreLogic's home value index drops for the second month in a row after declining 0.6% in June. House prices are continuing to decline, and falls are expected to accelerate in the coming months as rising interest rates take their toll. CoreLogic Home Value Index has fallen for the second month in a row after declining 0.6% in June when central banks delivered another rate hike. And it goes on to say, considering inflation is likely to remain stubbornly high for some time and interest rates are expected to rise substantially in response, it's likely the rate of decline in housing values will continue to gather steam and become more widespread, CoreLogic Researcher Director Tim Lawless said on Friday. The national fall in home values was driven by a sharp monthly declines in Sydney, down 1.6%, and Melbourne, down 1.1%, as reported by The Guardian on Tuesday. So Australia's housing prices are expected to fall by double digits in what was once one of the biggest housing booms in the world. But what goes up must come down, and the U.S. housing market is no exception. The Atlanta Fed's GDP Now is forecasting a negative 2.1% decline in GDP growth for Q2, signaling that the U.S. economy is more than likely in recession. This will have detrimental impact on the U.S. housing market with downward pressure everywhere in sight. And these 11 U.S. housing markets are in danger of house price declines. Housing market crash could see values of homes plummet in these 11 states. The U.S. housing market is starting to slow after months of record-high home prices, surging mortgage interest rates, and a lack of inventory that has forced buyers into merciless bidding wars. This slowdown, which could eventually bring home prices down, could also go into a completely opposite direction, one that economists dread: a market crash. In the first quarter of 2022, home prices have surged by 16% on average across the country, according to Moody's Analytics. But while prices have increased everywhere around the nation, the changes have not been the same in every state. While in many states, home prices have risen by less than 12.5%, in 11 states, home prices have soared by over 20%. These are Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Nevada, North Carolina, South Carolina, Utah, Tennessee, and Washington. Powered by severe housing shortage, fueled by lingering consequences of the 2008 financial crisis and the pandemic, and the migration of people moving across the country thanks to the possibility of working remotely in much of the nation, and especially in these 11 states, homes are overvalued. So, if you live in any of the 11 states mentioned and you don't plan on living in your home, you may want to consider selling before things get far worse. Everyone's personal situation is different, and I would never tell anyone to sell their home. Moreover, if you're a potential home buyer and you can hold out, you may want to postpone your plans to purchase a home until the market shifts in favor of would-be home buyers. What do you think of this data? Let us know in the comments. Okay, so today's takeaway. Sydney's home prices are expected to fall by 20% as interest rates rise in one of the world's most expensive markets. Australian housing prices have fallen for the second straight month, creating much anxiety in the market. 11 states are endangered by housing price declines, and some economists worry of a full-on housing crash. With the U.S. economy more than likely in recession, housing prices just might break, risking a full-blown financial crisis. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that like button. I'm a Florida, Georgia real estate broker, not a financial advisor. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.